Have you ever felt like the world is against you, and you were born with the cards stacked against you, and no matter what you do, you're born to fail? If you ever felt this way, this anime is for you. In a world where magic is everything, from working the fields to protecting the kingdom, some people are born into royalty, where genetics mostly play a big role in one's place in that social structure, and some are born poor, orphaned, and without much magical power, which is everything in the world of Black Clover. To some, being alive is a burden. To others, it's a daily struggle. The strong and rich really do not know. So the setup of the world is this. The Clover Kingdom is the main setup of the story. The focus of the world is a obvious play on the basic playing cards characters. You have the Clover Kingdom, the Diamond Kingdom, the Hearts Kingdom, and the Spade Kingdom. Without giving it all away, since this is a spoiler-free video, Yuki Tabata, the writer of the manga of Black Clover, does a fantastic job at utilizing the elements he set up at the start of the show throughout the runtime of the anime and the manga. A big sale of any good story are the characters. Many basic tropes do exist in the story, and I can understand how it can be a turnoff for some people. However, to others it can be the charm. There is the overpowered superior, the handsome rival, the teacher or the sensei, the people who have strength but a terrible personality to go with the overwhelming power. You have the tsundere, you have the awkward teen, you have the crazy bitch. You pretty much have everything that you can want in this story. Question to you, audience: what kind of magic intrigues you the most? Elemental, light, dark, necromancy? Leave a comment down below, and I will be responding for a while to any and all comments. Many of the interactions are within a set group of people, but unlike other shows, the group changes from the main to side characters very often. But there are basically 5 characters who are always the focus of the show, and the director does a fantastic job of giving the side characters enough life that their presence is actually felt. Unlike other shows, I'm not gonna compare, but we all know a lot, we all can imagine a lot of shows that just use side characters and just throw them away. But this show does a fantastic job with, giving them life. And honestly, it's done pretty well. To give an example of a character who's a side character, but still impacts the story quite well, I'm not going to give any names because this is a spoiler-free video, but I will give a little bit of an idea, a little bit of a taste, if you will. There's a character who is basically a woman in her teens who lives alone with a couple of her younger siblings. She seems like a side character all the time because, well, she is, but for a good 10 episodes, 10 episodes is, by the way, a lot. She does a fantastic job of being relevant and developing a plot and seeming like a little bit of a love interest with a conclusion that she won't be, but it's still satisfying and she still supports the main character. I find that to be a great way to write a character. That's just a little bit of an example of an interaction, in my opinion, that gives life to side characters, but still brings out, flavors. They're like little bits of, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, something like that. Gives flavor, but doesn't take away from the main dish. Overall, a few highs and lows worth mentioning. Some of the highs of the show are when the action is captivating and it goes and feels natural, organic. And still, the show has a couple of moments here that doesn't feel that organic and feels a little bit forced, and that's a little bit of the lows. But mostly it feels good. It feels like it flows. But for honesty's sake, I think I should tell you that this show does have a couple of episodes that can be skipped. The first episode is the second half of episode 2. You start episode 1, feels great, it's a little bit loud, but you get through it. But then you get to episode 2. Episode 2, first couple of minutes, first 5 to 7, 8 minutes, perfect. Then it gets bad. It gets boring. It's a uneventful training arc, You have the main characters, the 2 main characters in the beginning who we talk a lot about. We're basically there. You see them get stronger, but you don't get any information about that, and that is a sin. That is really, really, really bad, And episode 3 is basically skippable. Episode 3 is the reason why I've heard a lot of people say that they drop Black Clover, and that's a sin in my opinion. The director should feel ashamed that that episode was done the way it was. But episode 4 and on, it gets really, really, really good. Sure, there are a couple of moments later on, there are a couple of episodes here and there that are skippable, but by the time you get to it, you know to skip it. Okay, this is a recap episode. Okay, this is an episode that's definitely filler. You know that, and you know to skip it. But if you feel like you enjoy recap episodes, go right ahead, watch them. They're pretty good for what they are. This show does it a little bit better than others. So I hope I convinced you that you should be watching Black Clover. If you like this video, please drop a like, subscribe. If there's an anime you want me to check out and make a spoiler-free review, spoiler-free introduction, I'm not sure I'm going to call this series yet, but I think I'm going to call it SFI Spoiler-Free Introductions. Please leave a comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and one last thing. I recently started a podcast with my good friend Unfit from Team NDL. I will put down below links to all of his socials as well as to the first episode of the podcast. It's really good. I'm really proud of it. There's going to be way more episodes to come. We already filmed them all. They're perfect. Check them out.